just goes up?
Yeah, starting with verse 60, ayah 75.
Can I take this off?
Sure.
Yeah. Did it move up like this?
Yeah, you just scroll it.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. قال إن سألتك عن شيء بعدها فلا تصاحبني قد بلغت من لدني عذرا. فانطلقا حتى إذا أتيا أحل قرية استطعما أهلها فأبوا أن يضيفوهما فوجدا فيها جدارا يريد أن ينقض فأقامه. قال لو شئت لاتخذت عليه أجرا. قال هذا فراق بيني وبينك سأنبئك بتأويل ما لم تستطع عليه صبرا. أما السفينة فكانت لمساكين يعملون في البحر فأردت أن أعيبها وكان وراءهم ملك يأخذ كل سفينة غصبا. وأما الغلام فكان أبواه مؤمنين فخشينا أن يرهقها طغيانا وكفرا. فأردنا أن يبدلهما ربهما خيرا منه زكاة وأقرب رحما. وأما الجدار فكان لغلامين يتيمين في المدينة وكان تحته كنز لهما وكان أبوهما صالحا فأراد ربك أن يبلغا أشدهما ويستخرجا كنزهما ورحمة من ربك. وما فعلته عن أمري ذلك تعويل ما لم تستطع عليه صبرا. ويسألونك عن ذي القرنين قل سأتلو عليكم منه ذكرا. إنا مكنا له في الأرض وآتيناه من كل شيء سببا. فاتبع سببا حتى إذا بلغ مغرب الشمس وجدها تغرب في عين حمئة ووجد عندها قوما قلنا يا ذا القرنين إما أن تعذب وإما أن تتخذ فيهم حسنا. قال أما
ظلم فسوف نعذبه ثم يرد إلى ربه ويعذبه عذابا نكرا. وأما من آمن وعمل صالحا فله جزاء الحسنى فسنقول له من أمرنا يسرا. ثم أتبع سببا حتى إذا بلغ مطلع الشمس ووجدها تطلع على قوم لم نجعل لهم من دونها سترا. كذلك وقد أحطنا بما لديهم خبرا. ثم أتبع سببا حتى إذا بلغ بين السدين وجد من دونهما قوما لا يكادون يفقهون قولا. قالوا يا ذا القرنين إن يعجوج ومعجوج مفسدون في الأرض فهل نجعل لك خرجا على أن تجعل بيننا وبينهم سدا. قال ما مكني فيه ربي خير فأعينوني بقوة أجعل بينكم وبينهم ردما. أتوني زبر الحديد حتى إذا ساوى بين السدفين قال انفخوا حتى إذا جعله نارا قال آتوني أفرغ عليه قطرا. فما استطاعوا أن يظهره وما استطاعوا له نقبا. قال هذا رحمة من ربي فإذا جاء وعد ربي جعله دكا وكان وعد ربي حقا. وتركنا بعضهم يومئذ يموج في بعض ونفخ في الصور فجمعناهم جمعا. وأرضنا جهنم يومئذ للكافرين عرضا. الذين كانت أعينهم في قطاع عن ذكري وكانوا لا يستطيعون سمعا. أفحسب الذين كفروا أن يتخذوا عبادي من دوني أولياء. إنا أعتدنا جهنم للكافرين نزلا. قل ننبئكم بأخسرين أعمالا الذين ضل سعيهم في الحياة الدنيا وهم يحسبون أنهم يحسنون صنعا. أولئك الذين كفروا بآيات ربهم ولقائه فحبطت أعمالهم فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا. ذلك جزاؤهم جهنم بما كفروا واتخذوا آياتي ورسلي هزوا إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا خالدين فيها لا يبغون عنها حولا قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفذ البحر قبل أن تنفذ كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بإبادة ربه أحدا صدق الله العلي العظيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم كافها يا عين صاد ذكر رحمة ربك عبده زكريا إذ نادى ربه نداء خفيا قال رب إني وهن العظم مني واشتعل الرأس شبيا ولم أكن بدعائك ربي شقيا وإني خفت الموالي من ورائي وكانت امرأتي عاقرا فهب لي من لدنك وليا يرثني ويرث من آل يعقوب واجعله ربي رضيا يا زكريا إنا نبشرك بغلام اسمه يحيى لم نجعل له من قبل سميا قال ربي أنى يكون لي غلام وكانت امرأتي عاقرا وقد بلغت من الكبر عتيا قال كذلك قال ربك هو علي هين وقد خلقتك من قبل ولم تك شيئا قال رب اجعل لي آية قال آياتك ألا تكلم الناس 3 ليال سويا قومه من المحراب فأوحى إليهم أن سبحوا بكرة وعشيا يحيى خذ الكتاب بقوة وآتيناه الحكم سبيا وحنانا من لدنا وزكاة وكان تقيا وبرا بوالديه ولم يكن جبارا عصيا وسلام عليه يوم ولد ويوم يموت ويوم يبعث حيا واذكر في الكتاب مريم إذ انتبذت من أهلها مكانا شرقيا فاتخذت من دونهم حجابا فأرسلنا إليها روحنا وتمثل لها بشرا سويا قالت إني أعوذ بالرحمن منك إن كنت تقيا قال إنما أنا رسول ربك لأحبا لك غلاما زكيا. قالت أنى يكون لي غلام ولم يمسسني بشر ولم أك بغيا. قال كذلك قال ربك هو علي حي نجعله آية للناس ورحمة منا وكان أمرا مقضيا. فحملته فانتبذت به مكانا قصيا فأجاءها المخاض إلى جذع النخلة قالت يا ليتني مت قبل هذا وكنت نسيا منسيا. فنادها من تحتها ألا تحزني قد جعل ربك تحتك سريا وهزي إليك بجذع النخلة تساقط عليك رطبا جنيا. فكلي واشربي وقري عينا فإما ترين من البشر أحدا فقولي إني نذرت للرحمن صوما فلن أكلم اليوم إنسيا. فأتت به قومها تحمله قالوا يا مريم لقد جئت شيئا فريا. يا أخت هارون ما كان أبوك امرأ سوء وما كانت أمك بغية. فأشارت إليه قالوا كيف نكلم من كان في المهد سبيا. قال إني عبد الله أعطاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا وبرا بوالدتي ولم يجعلني جبارا شقيا. والسلام علي يوم ولدت ويوم أموت ويوم أبعث حيا. ذلك عيسى ابن مريم قول الحق الذي فيه يمترون. ما كان لله أن يتخذ من ولد سبحانه إذ قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون. وإن الله ربي وربكم فاعبدوه هذا صراط مستقيم. فاختلف الأحزاب من بينهم فويل للذين كفروا من مشهد يوم عظيم. أسمع بهم وأبصر يوم يأتوننا لكن الظالمون اليوم في ضلال مبين. وأنذرهم يوم الحسرة إذا قضي الأمر وهم في غفلة وهم لا يؤمنون. إنا نحن نرث الأرض ومن عليها وإلينا يرجعون. واذكر في الكتاب إبراهيم إنه كان صديقا نبيا إذ قال لأبيه يا أبتي لما تعبد ما لا يسمع ولا يبصر ولا يغني عنك شيئا. يا أبت إني قد جاءني من العلم ما لم يأتك فاتبعني أهدك صراطا سويا. يا أبت لا تعبد الشيطان إن الشيطان كان للرحمن عصيا. يا أبت إني أخاف أن يمسك عذاب من الرحمن فتكون للشيطان وليا. قال أراغب أنت عن آلهتي يا إبراهيم لئن لم تنتهي لأرجمنك يتبعونك واهجرني مليا. قال سلام عليك سأستغفر لك ربي إنه كان بي حفيا. وأعتزلكم وما تدعون من دون الله وأدعو ربي عسى ألا أكون بدعاء ربي شقيا. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Jazakallah, brothers. Thank you so much. Inshallah, we are going to start our program. Slightly, little bit change of the sitting area. I hope you all like it. And Salat area is also moved because of the rain. So we're going to do the Salat inside the tent, inshallah. Once again, the theme will be as same every day, inshallah. After the speech, we proceed for Salat Maghriban, and then after that we're going to give you the to-go box for the iftar, and you can take the iftar with you. Take iftar break, and then 9:10 we start the dua iftitah with the Jamaat, inshallah. So we assemble back here and do the dua iftitah, inshallah. With that, like all of you, requesting all of you to recite the Surah Fatiha for the sponsors of the Marhumin tonight, especially Nayani families Marhumin, and all of your Marhumin, Shoda Islam, Marhum Maraja Ikram, and all Ulma Ikram. Please recite the Surah Fatiha and 3 times Surah Ikhlas with the loud salawat. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Inshallah, now with that, I'm going to request Maulana Mirza Mohammed Baig to come to the member and address the MOMIN with your loud salawat. Allah.
حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما بقية الله الأعظم روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري وَاحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِّسَانِي يَفْقَهُوا قَوْلِي. The month of Ramadan is a month in which we can raise heavy subjects, subjects that are difficult to bear and hard to listen to. Because spiritually, because of fasting and the blessings of the month of Ramadan, we are ready to accept them. We are ready to understand them. And one of the subjects that's heavy to deal with is the subject of Akhir zaman. Akhir zaman, or the end times. The end, where the time before the coming of Imam Mahdi, Ajallallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. And this is a time that is described as a very dangerous, treacherous time for believers. In fact, the believers are going to go through such tests that it will be difficult for a person to save his religion. He will sell his Islam and his deen many times in the day. It is said that in the morning, when a person takes his deen out of his house with him, he will sell it many times by the time he comes back. That will be the testing of the end times. And hence we are talking about the end times and the situation of believers in them, in order that we may protect ourselves and know what not to do, how not to be, and work on trying to be the way that Ahlul Bayt have taught us, that if you do this in the end times, then you will be safe, you will be protected. This is what we want to discuss. So, regarding the believers and what they have to go through, let's talk a little bit about their family. And especially about the children. People are worried nowadays, and especially where we live our lives, in a land of kufr, in a land that has rejected Allah and ridicules Allah, to live our life here, we are particularly concerned regarding our youngsters, our children. And rightly so, we should be. And the words that have been expressed in hadith are not kind, are not generous when they speak about the children of Akhir Zaman. It is very difficult to listen to that. And so let's start off right away. What does the hadith say? 3 words. They describe the children of Akhir Zaman. Now, by Akhir Zaman, I don't mean the children of people, like non-Muslims. We're talking about the children of mu'mineen, children of Shias, children of believers. What does the hadith say about that? Well, let me just read the hadith itself, translated. He says that the children of the believers are filthy, rude, and ill-mannered. The children of mu'mineen are garbage. They will be garbage. Better to be thrown away from their homes than to be kept in. These are the children of believers in Akhir Zaman. Now, it's not the children's fault that they're like this. By far, they're not to be held responsible fully. The parents had to do something with it. Let me read a hadith for you, and I'm reading these hadiths right now, and then inshallah we will try to explain these hadiths and what they mean. This is from the Messenger of Allah. he says, it says that أنه نظر إلى بعض الأطفال. He looked at some of the children. He looked at some of the children. And then he says, فقال ويل لأولاد آخر الزمان. He says, curse. Woe means like cursed, like la'nat is on the children of Akhir al-Zaman min aba'ihim, because of their parents. I shudder to think about what will happen to the children of Akhir al-Zaman by what their parents have done to them. What they have done to them. Then says, Faqila, Ya Rasulallah, min aba'ihimul mushrikeen. He says, Ya Rasulallah, are you speaking about parents who are mushrik and kafir and non-Muslim? Are these the parents who are bad, who are going to turn their children into monsters? Rasulullah says, no. Min aba'ihimul mu'mineen. From mu'min parents. Mu'min parents are going to destroy their children, turn them into monsters, turn them into valueless, immoral creatures. This is the situation of the youngsters. Rasulullah explains some reasons regarding that. He says, La yu'allimunahum shay'an min al-fara'id. They did not teach them the obligations that Allah has given them. They never paid importance to what Allah wanted out of them. They never gave importance to what Allah wanted out of them. And more so, وَإِذَا تَعَلَّمُوا أَوْلَادَهُمْ مَنَعُوهُمْ. And when their children went to learn something about Allah's deen, then the parents are the one who stopped them. Don't waste your time in this. This is not going to get you anywhere in this life. They stopped them from this. They discouraged them. Mana'u means to prevent them. They came in their ways. I have many examples of that, what Rasulullah is speaking about. I remember one kid long time ago in our youth group that we used to have. This is long time ago. Here, and we used to talk about many things, and this youngster became religious. He started to pray. He started to do things that Allah wanted him to do. And then he didn't want to bother his mother, so he used to pray in the room. At night, he used to do his Salatul Layl at home, away from his mother, so she doesn't see him, get scared or whatever. And so he used to pray there. And one day she heard him in the room. And this is in America I'm talking about. She heard him in the room and she freaked out that my son is going crazy. He is getting up in the middle of the night and praying. Who does this? Normal people don't do such things. And she created such a big fuss in the community to stop this youth group because they are brainwashing our children into becoming radicals. And she took those children out of the community, out of America, took them back to Pakistan and India so he can become normal again, get out of Islam. I mean, imagine this. This is how people are afraid that their children might learn Islam or might obey Allah. And Rasulullah says, it's the parents who are going to stop their children from Islam, from Deen. And then, وَرَضُوا أَنْهُمْ بِأَرَضٍ يَسِيرٍ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. And they will encourage them towards dunya. Go get your graduation. You know, they will swear to them and tell them that if you are my son, then you will get graduated and then do anything you want in life. First go and get yourself educated. And they will send them to dunya, make them a slave of dunya. And once they become a slave of dunya, then these children obviously will become monsters, work for shaitan now. And Rasulullah then says, فَأَنَا مِنْهُمْ بَرِي. I do tabarra on these parents. I have nothing to do with these parents, and these parents, believing parents, have nothing to do with me. They don't belong to me, I don't belong to them. He did bara'at from them. This hadith I just mentioned regarding the children of Akhir Zaman, it's very clear what it is. A lot of times we see that we, instead of knowing how to deal with children and making them into adults who are obedient to Allah, we ourselves, through wrong ideas and wrong means, take the children away from Allah and put them into dunya to becoming servants of shaitan, the monsters. My friends, there are certain things that youngsters have that are amazing. Rasulullah has mentioned this so much. Islam has mentioned this so much, that the age when a person is young is the time when he is strong, when he is powerful, when he has energy, when his faculties are at their height. In an ayat of the Quran, Allah says that we created man weak, then we made him powerful, and then we made him weak again. This idea of quwwat, power that's in between these two weaknesses, is youth. This is when you have power. This is when you have energy to do things. And in fact, how good it is to be young. It is said that Rasulullah said, Qala Rasulullah, Inna lillahi malakan. Allah has an angel. Allah has an angel. Yanzilu fi kulli laylatin. That angel comes to the earth every night. Every day he comes to the earth and says, wa yunadi, and he calls out in the earth, Ya abna'ul ishreen. O youth who are 20 years old. O youngsters who are 20 years old. He calls out to all the teenagers 20 years old. Specifically 20, but you can say around 20. That's the time when they're at the start of their young life. They're youthful, they're energetic. And hence, he calls out to them and then says, Jiddu washtahidu, struggle. Work hard. Because this age is the time to work hard, to struggle. Whatever you want to become, this is the time to become. Don't waste your time. Don't spend it in useless activities. Don't make yourself go and become like useless. Because if you don't do anything right now, you're going to lose this chance. So young life is a great time for anyone. And all elders here who now sit here scratching whatever little hair they have on their head, know this, that it is true. Young life was something else. I could have done anything I want. So, well, here we go. My friends, how do we train youth? How do we make them strong? What is the principles behind it? You know, and what are the mistakes we make right now? Everyone, you know, Deen says this, Aql says this, intellect says this, experience says this. The worst thing that you can give to your child is what he wants, what he desires. Every parent should know that. That if a child wants something, it doesn't mean that you actually give it to him. He has the wishes, he has the desire, you have the wisdom. That's why Allah gave you wilayat and not them. You make the rules, they follow. And not because they don't have aql, they just don't have wisdom. You have the wisdom, you have the experience. That's why Allah gave you the wilayat and tell them to obey or to follow the elders when they make a command. Follow your wali. That's what it says. So the worst thing that a person can do is to do whatever the youth want. A youngster wants something. Okay, you want it, but you're not going to get it. And you see that they're upset by that. And they always get upset because it goes against their wishes. It goes against what they want. And when you don't give it because of the good reasons that you have that he is not understanding, you are disciplining him. You are making him realize a very hard and solid truth. And that truth is that, listen, I need to listen to people who are wiser than I am. There's a reason Allah made me listen to my father. There's a reason for that. It makes us realize that. Yes, at first I'm upset because my ego is hurt. Because, you know what, I can't handle it. But you know what, I will cry for a day or two, I'll be upset for a few days, but I will go along with it. And I will learn. And I will grow from here. This is the method, the right method of raising youngsters into being adults. But the mistakes we make is when we come here, it's because of ideologies that we have learned from foreigners, from kafirs. Oh, don't be too harsh on your children. Let them have what they want. Don't hurt them too much. They have dreams, let them follow it. If your wisdom says no, they should not be following their dreams because their dreams are based on ignorance. Their dreams are based on foolishness. You don't let your children follow dreams like that. You correct them. You have to put them in line. That's the way that they become adults. Otherwise, they never become adults. So what do we do here? We let them go on without any challenges and give whatever they want. Whereas the youth should be the ones who are the hard workers. They should be the ones who are working hard, praying the most, making the most du'as. They should be the one who are like, wow, and the encouragement is there for that. We have hadith that says that inna Allaha yuhibbu ash-shab alladhi yufna shababahu fi ta'atillah. Allah loves those youngsters who have destroyed their youth in the worship of Allah, in obedience to Allah. Instead of games, they didn't play games. They went and they worshipped Allah. They read His book. They read Hajjul Balagha. They learned Islam. They wanted to follow Islam. This is where they spend their young life. And Rasulullah says, this is a person Allah loves. He's dear to Allah. Very dear to Allah when a person is like this. So instead of that, we don't play games. Imam Ali said that Yahya Nabi, he gave the example of Yahya Nabi to teach a lesson. He says, Yahya Nabi, when his friends used to tell him, let's go and play. Let's go and play. So Yahya told them, Yahya used to tell them that Ma khuliqna lil-la'ab. We have not been created for play. You think I'm going to go and play and waste my time? Is that why Allah created us? Is that why Allah gave us this precious time right now in youth that we spend it on useless things? We're not talking about little children. You know, when they're 5, 6, 7 years old, it's different. We have hadith regarding that. That's their time to play. Not when you're 16, 17, 18. That's not the time to play. This is not playtime. Your playtime is finished. Now you need to be doing the things of serving. You have to be the ones who are servant. It is really difficult. You know, I can speak of the hadith of Rasulullah who says this. It's difficult that Rasulullah saw a youth and asked him, so, how are you? And he was talking to him and he says, what are you doing? He says, nothing. He said, what do you mean nothing? He says, I have nothing, you know, I'm just hanging out. My father does the work. Rasulullah just, you know, spit in front of him and walked away. He said, I don't even want to see your face again. I don't want to see your face again. Curses on you. That your father is working and you're here not doing anything? Playing? Friends, youth are the ones who should be taking the most burden in the family and in the community. Yes, elders want to do volunteer work. It's good that they want to do volunteer work. It's the goodness of their heart. But a youngster should not sit there, see his elder serve him. You have youngsters over here and the elders are the one you can go there and see right now, giving out iftar. And where are the youngsters? They're sitting and eating. What kind of slum is this? If Rasulullah was here, he would refuse to speak to you. If youngsters are like these. Youngsters should be the one that you go and work. This is your pride. Can you imagine that Ali Akbar would be served by Imam Hussein or Abbas or Habib ibn Madahir? That Habib ibn Madahir is bringing water for Ali Akbar and he's sitting down. Can you imagine Ali Akbar even thinking that he would be in that situation? He would look at it as insulting that my elder is working and I'm sitting down. Cannot happen. Youngsters have that in them. They should have that pride in them. No, I am the one to work. I am the one. I have the energy. They don't. They're my elders. Right now that energy has come to me. The power has come to me. The youth is in my hands. Let me do the work. This is the proper way to train youngsters. When they become youngsters, they need to have been trained like this. And that's why Rasulullah is saying that when you don't train them like that, the children of mu'mineen are filthy garbage. Better to be thrown away. They have no use in the house. They will just start getting rotten. You know how garbage gets rotten and it smells the house? That's what happens to the children of believers in Akhir Zaman. It's dangerous. We don't want that to happen to our youth. My friends, youth should not be catered to. It's the youth who should be doing the catering. The worst thing you can do to a youth is to cater to him and to give him what he wants. They want games, let's give them games. Sorry. You don't do that with youth. You're destroying youngsters then. You're destroying them and you're preventing them from becoming adults. There will always be kids, and when you have kids, they never learn to grow out of their toys. Every new thing they get is a toy then. And they treat it like a toy. It should be there to serve them. It should be there to please them. That's how they become 30 years old, 35 years old. But for them, things are toys that should serve them. And so when such people get a wife, the wife is their latest PS4 or PS5. It's a toy for them. And if she doesn't serve them, if she doesn't make them happy, then you know what? I don't want this toy. Because they never learned to grow out of their toys. Because their parents always gave them toys to play with. And they treated them like children. They never taught them to grow up, become adults. So if you see divorce on the rise and divorce becoming so easy nowadays, there's a reason behind it. Because to them, this is like a toy, a new toy they're playing with. And with every toy and every game, they want the excitement, they want the fun. That's not youth. That's not a place for youth. Youth should be in a place where they are being trained, they are being disciplined, and they are being shown their place. When Imam Ali alayhi salam spoke to his children, young children, you know, the first thing he says, as a father to youngsters, the first thing he says to them, before saying La ilaha illallah, Muhammadan Rasulullah, anything about Islam, the first thing he tells them, tells my children, your dreams will never come true. Get that in your mind. Whatever dreams you have, break them right now. Break it right now. Because your dreams are based on ignorance. Don't follow those dreams. That's the first thing to do with the youth, to shatter their dreams that they have based on their desires. Their dreams of, for example, becoming basketball stars or famous or you know, this rich or whatever dreams that they have. You see, they're all based on ignorance and desires. Nothing that is mentioned in the Quran. Did Allah say, you know, I wish you all to become famous? Is there any dua we have? Inshallah, may Allah make you famous. Or Allah make you rich. Is there any dua that we have that we give to each other? It's a curse if we do that to each other. May Allah make you rich. Astaghfirullah, why are you saying that about me? Say that may Allah increase my rizq, not make me rich. That is actually a curse that you give someone. May Allah make you famous. Astaghfirullah, why? Where does Allah say, hey, become famous, become a known figure? These are not the things, my friends. So their dreams are based on desires, lower desires, shahwat. And Imam Ali is saying, first thing you need to understand is that you need to break those dreams. They will never come true. And if they do come true, be afraid of that. Be afraid of your dream coming true. Because it'll destroy you. It's going to lead you to your destruction. You don't follow that. You follow the goals Allah set because they are best for you. And they don't have that. Which youth has that dream, you know, that inshallah, I want to obey Allah. That's what I want. I just want time so that I can pray to Allah. That's all I want. Even when they give you Islamic goals, it's based on dunya. I want to be a famous alim. La ilaha illallah. What do you mean famous alim? Being famous is not a good thing. It's really not a good thing. Having knowledge is a good thing. But no alim wants to be like known, that everyone knows my knowledge. That is like, I'm ignorant then, if that's my goal. That's an ignorance that I want to be known. If I was knowledgeable, I don't want to be known. This is not something that I wish for. You know, we have so many stories of great ulama like Ayatollah Ardebili, woke up in the morning to get water to make wudu, put the bucket into the well and took the bucket out, and it came out filled with jewels. Jewels. He just looked at that, there's no water, and he threw it back in. And then again he pulled it out, and again it was filled with jewels. And he threw it back again and says, Allah, I'm just looking for water to make wudu. You know, I mean, really, if that was us, you know, they'll be like, Alhamdulillah, my prayers have paid off. Now I can retire. They don't look for those things. Knowledge doesn't look for these things. Knowledge looks for truth and obedience. And hence, the dreams of youngsters are not based on these things. So don't let them follow that. If you want good for your youngsters, break them down so that they know that the right goals are set in their life. What Allah wants them to be is better for them. And if they are good people, Allah will break them and break their dreams. But you know what happens? A lot of youth lose their youth following these tragic and despicable dreams. They will not pay attention to any useful thing. They'll just be going around thinking about how they are going to become famous, how everyone's going to applaud at them, how they are going to live in the house, and they're just looking at these things without making any effort to do anything else. Why? Because these dreams have overtaken their minds, overwhelmed them, and now they don't know what to do with themselves. This is why it's so important for us to know about the youth and how to deal with youth and how to train them. And friends, the best way to cater to the youth is to make them cater to the adults. You should serve now. You know, when you went there, the journey to Karbala of Imam Hussein was a journey in which every lady who was in the caravan was so well taken care of. Just imagine the journey that was happening. It was a long journey, an arduous journey, a difficult journey. It wasn't easy. It was a hard journey for these ladies. But you know what? Every time any lady would be in any discomfort, one of the youth of Bani Hashim would come forward, whether it's Qasim or Muhammad, Ali Akbar, and they will say, Aunt, you want something. Why are you getting up? Tell us. Just order us. Let us do the work. When Ali Asghar used to cry, there will be 10 youth of Bani Hashim there. Let us take him in our hands. Let us look after him. These are youth. These are youth, my friends, to have that in them. Can you imagine that, for example, any of the ladies would want something and the youth are like, yeah, the water is there, you can go there and get it. That cannot be imagined because they have been trained correctly. They have been trained correctly. And that's why we as a community need to train our children like that. Sunday schools will be like, listen, service, you are going to become young. Your job is to serve, to work hard, to sweat. Your parents have done enough sweating now. It's your job now. And that is what's going to make you a man. That's what's going to make you a believer. That's what's going to make you a personality. Build your character. Otherwise, the awlad of Akhir Zaman, as the hadith says, are filthy, rude, and ill-mannered. And we don't want that. We don't want that from our youth. That's, my friends, that if we want to raise our children, teach them reality. Yes, it's going to hurt them for a bit, but they will learn it. And when they learn it, they'll appreciate it. Every adult man who is law-abiding and who respects law, he truly remembers that the reason he gives for him having this character is the discipline that his father and his mother put him through. And they respect that about them. I thank them for that. Yes, at that time I was angry and upset, but I thank them for making a man out of me. This is, my friends, don't take it easy on your children. Don't take it easy, oh, they'll run away. Run away, I don't want them to be here and turn into garbage. That's worse. They'll run away, they'll learn. This is how it is, my friends. Training youngsters, you have to train them with the right ideas, not the wrong ideas. Just one hadith I will end with here, inshallah, that will give us a little bit of scare. It's almost time for azan. 3 more minutes? 2 more minutes. Okay. I saw 1 finger and someone said 2. So, all right, the hadith is short. This is from Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. He says, Allimu sibyanakum ma yanfa'uhum bihi. He says, teach your children useful things, things that are useful for them, meaning towards Allah. Bring them towards Allah. Why? La yughlibu alayhimul murji'a bira'yiha. He says, before wrong groups are going to brainwash their minds. Wrong people are going to brainwash their minds. When you send your children to schools here with atheists, agnostics, haters of Islam and Allah, don't think that they're just going to teach them chemistry. No, there'll be a lot of things I'll teach them regarding every holy thing and break it down for them. So be aware of that others are going to teach your children. You teach them first. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to protect ourselves and our children from misguidance and to make us better in terms of training them and to make them the soldiers of the Imam. Tomorrow being the last day, inshallah, I will try to wrap things up. I don't want to leave you all with no hope. There's a lot of hope. And I want to give some of that tomorrow in order that we can get some of these things. Request for Surah Fatiha for Marhuma Zainab Basrawala, Marhuma Razia Bano Nayani, and all Marhumin. Surah Al-Fatiha. Inshallah, let us go now, inshallah, for the prayer. So the men can go form the lines and the ladies can come from behind. Bismillah. Ya Allah.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد أشهد أن عليا ولي الله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد أشهد أن عليا حجة الله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد
استغفر الله ربي واتوب الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله اللهم صل على أشهد أن محمد رسول الله اللهم صل على أشهد أن عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا حجة الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير الأمل حي على خير الأمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانهر إن شانئك هو الأبتر Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, 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 Subhana Rabbiyal Azim wa bihamdih. Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, 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 Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdih. Allahu Akbar. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayhi. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, 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 Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdih. Allahu Akbar. Bihawlillahi wa quwwatihi akumu wa aqud. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alayhim ghairil maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahus samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. Kadhalika Allahu Rabbi. Allahu Akbar. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, 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 Subhana Rabbiyal Azim wa bihamdih. Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, 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 Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdih. Allahu Akbar. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayhi. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, 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 Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdih. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Bihawlillah. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, 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 Subhana Rabbiyal Azim wa bihamdih. Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, 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 Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdih. Allahu Akbar. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayhi. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, 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 Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdih. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiy wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا علي يا عظيم يا غفور يا رحيم أنت رب العظيم الذي ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. هذا شهر عظمته وكرمته وشرفته وفضلته على الشهور وهو الشهر الذي فرضنا الصيام عليه، وهو شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان، وجعلت فيه ليلة القدر وجعلتها خيرا من 1000 شهر. فيا ذا المن ولا يمن عليك، من علي بفقاق رقبتي من النار في من تمن عليه، وادخلنا الجنة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمد رسول الله، أشهد أن محمد رسول الله، أشهد أن عليا ولي الله، أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. اللهم صل على هيا على الصلاة، هيا على الصلاة، هيا على الفلاح، هيا على الفلاح، هيا على خير الأمل، هيا على خير الأمل. قد قامت الصلاة، قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمد. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته يقوم وأقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. كذلك الله ربي. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بحول الله Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim wa bihamdih. Sami Allahu liman hamida, Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdih. Allahu Akbar, astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayhi, Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdih. Allahu Akbar. Bihawlillahi wa quwwatihi akumu aqad. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim wa bihamdih. Sami Allahu liman hamida, Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdih. Allahu Akbar. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayhi, Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdih. Rabbi salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajahum. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma adkhil ala ahli al-qubur as-surur. Allahumma aghni kulla faqir. Allahumma ashbi kulla ja'i. Allahumma aksu kulli uryan. Allahumma qdi dayna kulli madin. Allahumma farij an kulli makrub. Allahumma rudda kulla gharib. Allahumma fukka kulla asir. اللهم أصلح كل فاسد من أمور المسلمين. اللهم اشف كل مريض. اللهم سد فقرنا بغناك. اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم اقضي عنا الدين وأغننا من الفقر إنك على كل شيء قدير. Assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah, ya Habiballah, ya khayra khalqillah wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah, ya ibn Rasulillah, ya Husayn ayyuha shaheed bi Karbala wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayka ya sahib al-asri wa zaman. Assalamu alayka imamana wa imama insi wal jan. Ajjala Allah ta'ala farajak wa sahala Allah ta'ala makhrajak wa dhahurak. Assalamu alaykum jami'al ma'sumin wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
आज हमने 10 लगा दिया, आपका इरादा हमने और आपसे वो बात करें। अस्सलाम वालेकुम। जी हाँ,
देखिए भाई यहाँ से देखिए वहाँ लगा देते कौन जो है इससे पहले कोई
लग गई गिरेगा पता चल जाएगा।
भाई अब वारंटी है।
Hello, hello. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أفتدي الثناء بحمدك وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك، وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة، وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكل والنقمة، وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أزنت لي في دعائك في مسألتك فأسمع يا سميع مدحتي، وعجب يا رحيم دعوتي، وعقل يا غفور أسرتي. فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها، وحموما قد كشفتها، وأسرة قد أقلتها، ورحمة قد نشرتها، وحلقة بلاء قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا، ولم يكن له شريك في الملك، ولم يكن له ولي من الذل، وكبره تكبيرا. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها، على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله الذي لا مضعاد له في ملكي، ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقي، ولا شبيه له في عظمتي. الحمد لله الفاشي في الخلق أمره وحمده، الظاهر بالكرم مجده، الباسط بالجود يده، الذي لا تنقص خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما. إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير، مع حاجة بإلهي عزيمة، وغناك عنه قديم. وهو عندي كثير، وهو عليك سهلا سهلا يسير. اللهم إن عفوك عن ذنبي، وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي، وسفهك عن ظلمي، وسترك عن قبيح عملي، وهلمك عن كثير جرمي، عندما كان من خطائي وعمدي. أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه منك، الذي رزقتني من رحمتك، وأريتني من قدرتك، وعرفتني من إجابتك، فصرت عدوك آمنا، وأسألك مستانسا، لا خائفا ولا وجلا، مدلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك. فإن أبطأ عني أتبت بجهلي عليك، ولعل الذي أبطأ عني هو خير لي لعلمك بمعاقبة الأمور. فلم أر مولا كريم